Welcome back to Recap It. Today we are going to recap a 2011 sci-fi/drama movie titled Another Earth. Rhoda, an aspirant student, meets John in a tragic accident in which his wife and son are killed. She is determined to repair John's shattered life after serving her prison sentence. But before we begin, please consider subscribing to this channel. Now, without wasting any further time, let's begin, shall we? Rhoda, a 17-year-old student, has been admitted to MIT and is throwing a party to celebrate. Rhoda will finally be able to pursue her ambitions and will attend one of the most famous colleges in the world. Rhoda is very inebriated after the party and is driving home. While she is driving, a man on the radio announces the discovery of a new blue planet in the solar system that is strikingly similar to Earth. Rhoda peers out her window and notices a blue planet in the sky. In the center of the road, John, his pregnant wife, and their son are waiting for the traffic signal. Rhoda's automobile slams into them unexpectedly. Rhoda is hurt, but she manages to get out of the automobile on her own. She rushes to check on the other car's passengers and discovers John and his wife comatose. Rhoda is taken aback when she sees them and walks away. But then she comes to John's son's body, unmoving on the ground not far from the car. Rhoda is charged with drunk driving and killing John's wife and son when the cops arrive. Rhoda's sentence has been lowered because she is a minor. Rhoda's prison sentence has now been fulfilled for 4 years. She leaves the prison with her possessions. Scientists are still investigating and conducting research on the blue planet. Rhoda is picked up by her parents and they return home. Rhoda learns soon after she returns home that a space agency is offering tickets to the selected one to visit Earth 2. She does not, however, apply for the ticket because she is no longer interested in it. Rhoda goes out the next day to look for work and ends up working in a school as a maintenance worker. Rhoda is not the same person she was 4 years ago. She prefers to be alone at the moment and does not wish to converse much. She notices John throwing a toy of his son on the road as she walks down the street. Rhoda investigates John's status on the internet after arriving home and discovers that he was in a coma following the accident. Before the disaster, John was a fantastic music composer. Rhoda locates his address and visits him late at night. She catches a glimpse of John through the glass. Rhoda holds herself responsible for that day, and the guilt consumes her. Rhoda takes a trip to a frozen lake and removes her clothing. She tries to commit suicide by lying naked on the ice. Someone, however, notices her in time and saves her. Rhoda, now that she's recovered from her injuries, reconsiders her decision and asks for a ticket to Earth 2. Rhoda has had enough of feeling guilty and has decided to meet John and tell him the truth. However, she pauses before introducing herself as a cleaning service provider. John is taken aback by her appearance and allows her in. Rhoda wanted to go after her encounter with John, so she went for the exit door. She, on the other hand, changes her mind and begins cleaning. When she's finished, John asks her to leave and return every week to clean. Rhoda returns home and begins to plan how she will inform John about the accident. Rhoda returns to John's residence, but she still lacks the courage to tell him. She, on the other hand, continues to clean. Rhoda comes upon a photograph of John and his family while cleaning. Rhoda, who is upset, decides not to tell John anything and leaves. Rhoda returns to John's residence with cleaning materials the following week and continues cleaning. She aspires to improve John's life in whatever way she can. Dr. Joan Tallis is attempting to contact the people of Earth 2 via television, which Rhoda and her family are watching. Dr. Joan of Earth 2 responds to her, much to her astonishment. Both of them turn out to be the same individual from a different planet. They are like mirror reflections of one another, sharing the same birthday, lives, and past. Rhoda goes back to John's place to clean. After she's finished, John invites Rhoda to join him in playing a video game. Rhoda is a little hesitant at first. But later on, she is completely absorbed in the game, and the two of them play all day. John offers to drop Rhoda off at her house after she's finished cleaning. Rhoda is hesitant, but John persuades her and drives her home. Rhoda is now cleaning John's house on a regular basis, and the two are becoming closer. John adores her company and spends the entire day with her. Rhoda expresses her intention to travel to Earth 2. While they were conversing, John noticed that Rhoda had cleaned some of his wife's and son's clothes. John becomes enraged and orders Rhoda to leave. Rhoda no longer visits John's house and is now employed at the school. Pradeep, who is also a maintenance worker at the school, has bleach in his eyes and ears, she discovers. He is now deaf and blind. Rhoda was walking home one day when she noticed John waiting outside her house. John apologizes for being unpleasant that day and offers to take her somewhere special to make amends. John takes Rhoda to a theater and entertains her with music. Rhoda starts thinking about space and her journey to Earth 2 while listening to music. They then return to John's place and make love, unleashing all of their suppressed feelings. Rhoda travels to the hospital the next day to check on Pradeep, who is having therapy. Rhoda returns home to learn that her letter for a ticket to Earth 2 has been accepted by the space agency. Rhoda informs John, and the two of them rejoice together. However, John asks Rhoda not to accompany him to dinner. Rhoda finally summons all of her strength and gives John the whole story about the accident. John is perplexed and enraged. As a result, he instructs Rhoda to go right now. Rhoda has made up her mind about going to space. However, Rhoda subsequently discovers that when Earth 1 and Earth 2 first established contact 4 years ago, they lost their synchronicity, implying that things on Earth 2 may be different from World 1. Rhoda rushes over to John's house and informs him that his wife and son could still be alive on Earth 2 and that the accident could have been avoided. Rhoda exits after handing John her ticket. After that, John begins his space travel preparations and training. After 4 months, Rhoda has returned to her normal routine, continuing to work as a maintenance worker at the school. Rhoda finds herself from Earth 2 on her way home, who never had the accident and went to MIT. Rhoda from Earth 2 realized her ambition and became a successful businesswoman. That's the life Rhoda from Earth 1st may have had if she hadn't been in an accident 4 years ago. And this is where the movie comes to an end. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, until next time.